anyone gets tested, I do know that my therapist said, has anyone ever tested you for ADHD?
Right.
Because I think, maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then it was very strange. Like, we were just talking about like some of my tendencies and like how I kind of like just go through life, and he just kind of like stopped and like looked at me over the Zoom for a second.
Over the Zoom, yeah.
It was like a very pregnant pause, and then all of a sudden he was just like, has anyone ever tested you for ADD or ADHD? And I was like, no.
No.
He kept asking me all these questions, and then I brought it up in a later session. He was like, no, I don't think it's fine. I asked my supervisor. I think it's all right. And I was like, so you're just going to leave me?
Oh.
You're just going to leave me with this? But ever since then, I've convinced myself, probably unnecessarily, I'm like, yeah, no, I have ADD, I have ADHD. But it's not. Who knows?
Yeah.
It could be true.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just,
It's been a recent fixation of mine that I'm like, something is not. Something is just... But then I'm like, I can't be self-diagnosing, but yet I
think
will.
it's the best course of action.
Yeah,
and I think you should
me and WebMD until I die.
Diagnose yourself and then live your life accordingly. You should say like, no, I have ADHD.
I have ADHD.
Like really bad ADHD.
Right.
And you should start taking Adderall.
That's the goal.
A lot. A lot.
Yeah.
And and be a problem,
See, I hear Adderall horror stories and I hear miracle stories, and I'm like, it's a dangerous game. You're really kind of like, it works for some people and it doesn't work for some people, and I'm just not entirely sure if it's like I can focus enough that I can get through my life.
Right.
But there are sometimes, I'll be literally in the middle of something and 5 hours later I'll be like, wow, I did 5 million different things.
Look
forgetting
at me go.
I did that.
Oh man.
What?
Do these waveforms look a little small?
What does that
entail?
entail?
Oh, I think we're okay. I'm just gonna turn up you a little bit.
Okay. Maybe I should talk louder. It does look like a straight line.
Yeah, I know. Hold up. This is all staying in. No, it looks alright. We're doing good. Hold on. Hold your horses. Let's drink that beer. Get that down your gullet. Okay. Well, that looks okay. I'm okay with that.
The lonely IPA seems to free his mind at night.
I'm really mad that you just said that. So,
what am I if not a beacon for truth?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I felt since I met you.
Right.
All Allie Kelly knows is eat ice and tell
truth.
That's it.
All Allie Kelly know how to do is loaf. Eat.
Loaf.
I can't stop talking and spreading the evangelism of loafing. I think loafing is just what I've learned to like lovingly call my endless desire to just be in bed all day. I want to be in bed. I want to be horizontal at any moment that I can be. And maybe this is coming from someone who like has health problems and just like, just my joints, they feel so heavy. But
it's not funny. I'm sorry.
Also 80 years old. No, but yeah, I love to loaf. I love loafing.
It's understandable. I think others might just call that crippling depression.
That could be.
Now, I don't want to, go around diagnosing.
I don't self-diagnose, but yeah, WebMD and multiple trained professionals have told me that's the case as well. I call it loafing.
Yeah, you're like, no, I don't think you get it.
It got really bad when I got a heated blanket.
God forbid.
Thank you, Costco, for the deal on the heated blanket. Good. Literally changed the course of my life.
Yeah.
Because I realized, why be in bed using a blanket when it could be a warm blanket?
Right.
By force. Like, it's just, you don't have to make it warm from your own body. It's just like, it's boiling for you. This
is making me sad. Do you think you would be as... Here's the crazy thing. It's
all
like,
right.
I think for myself, I think I have some... I think we all have, like, everyone's got their own mental shit.
Yeah. But
I don't know if, like, I would be as creative. I don't know if I would be as creative if I was a little bit, like, able to... I don't know. I think I cope with things okay, but, like, if I didn't have the weird brain stuff that I feel that I have,
Right.
I don't know if I would be as creative. Or maybe I would, but I think that if I were more motivated, I don't know if I would be as creative. You know what I mean?
I totally get that.
So it's it's a good place to just kind of be in. I think it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Definitely when this probably goes without saying, but it is so true that I would hope that in a happier mood I would feel as inspired as I do by like more depressive feelings, just like inspired by the happy feelings to be creative, but
right.
just doesn't seem to work that way. It kind of just seems to flow so easily when I'm in a certain like headspace, and then the second I'm even a little better, it's like, oh god, I can't do anything anymore. Like, is this normie life?
Normie life. Very interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel you. I feel way more creative when I'm like, you know,
fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah. In a certain way that it's like sometimes, even though like I'll be in situations that are like, oh, this is really good, and I will still then get home and like sit at the piano and try to think, okay, what are the possible loopholes that I could twist that into being a bad thing so that I can feel something from it?
And that sounds really healthy and really good.
That sounds like a really great way to cope. Really great way of framing your worldview. It's very mindfulness based.
I'm sitting here with Allison Skeleton.
Oh, that's true.
This is Allie Kelly.
Hi.
Long
time.
enough time friend.
It's been long enough.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for
Oh my
episode
God,
16
of course.
Can I Borrow Your Amp?
Of course. I've been an avid listener.
Have you?
I have. I remember when I saw the little artwork that you guys posted, little animated things of your faces, and I said, you know what? Yep, it's in my shows when you go on my Spotify. It's like your shows. Yeah. It's got the little icon. Like,
That's good.
Yeah, a special shout out to the Caleb Buchanan episode.
Yeah,
loved that
crema.
one. Yeah.
That wine was very good.
Right.
It was really good. The snacks were solid.
That's good.
Here, should we adjust your mic so that we can like kind of face each other? I feel like we're both just looking in opposite directions. This is staying in.
Okay.
Here, let's put you here.
Oh.
I got you.
Oh.
This is the microphone. Okay, we're back from fixing up
back
the.
From University Chorus.
Oh no. Is that where I met you?
Must have been.
No, I remember meeting you distinctly because we had a mutual friend at CSUN, and he was the only person I knew, and then I met you and Daron in the same day.
Wow.
I remember that. I met Daron Zunis.
The gods were in your favor.
Oh
that
yeah,
day
God was smiling upon this little Irishman.
Big shouts to Daron.
We're gonna get Daron on the podcast pretty soon.
Thank God.
He's on the road right now, but we're gonna talk to him soon.
He's kind of an angel sent to this earth, and he taught me the word bishu, which I think he made up. He was just saying, he's like, oh, I say bishu. It's kind of like a way of saying like, yeah, for sure, but also a way of saying that things are cosmically all right. And I was like, all right. Daron has a wisdom beyond what I know.
Do you ever think that, like, you know how they say, like, hey, you know, you should be nice to that homeless man because that might be Jesus.
right.
And I'm not saying that Daron is a homeless man by any sense of the word. He's
right.
Not that that's even bad, but I think that he might be Christ.
I think he is.
Do you
I would
think
believe
he's the Messiah born anew?
I would believe it. I've just never known someone who is just more thoughtful and like just. I have this corduroy jacket, and it was given to me by Daron. But why this was so shocking to me is that I had probably at the time been introduced to him about once. And other than that, it was just a cordial wave hi hello in the hallways, maybe in the courtyard of the music building.
I have to describe how I met him after.
Right. One day he goes, hey, Allie, like, I have a jacket for you. and I was like, a jacket for me? And he's like, yeah, I gotta bring it in. I gotta bring it in one of these days. I said, great. not knowing how this man would ever like know my taste or anything about me. And he didn't forget. He's like, oh, hey, it's in my locker. I said, okay. I'm waiting in because the guitar majors had like lockers to keep their guitars in, and like the instrumentalists
in that little locker,
in the little locker room.
Gross little room.
And
for as good as that music program it is it really just looks like a high school.
It does. It has like High School Musical was actually shot there. So
oh, bet.
No, I just could have been.
I would have believed anything right? You had said.
Right? Yeah.
Anything.
And
I'm so fucking gullible.
No, it's okay. All I tell is the truth. So how are you to know?
This is true. Loaf and Truth.
Loaf and Truth.
That's the name of the podcast. I'll tell you that right now.
Loaf and Truth. And he gives me this corduroy jacket that is like, it is tattered to smithereens, but I bring it home to my mom in Florida, and I say, please, like, I know you have a sewing machine, like, please
this
help me repair this. It was given to me by Jesus Christ incarnate. She said, okay, and she did fix it. It still kind of falls apart, but it is the most complimented thing in my wardrobe. Everyone.
Oh wait, I've definitely seen you wear this. Does it have? So it's corduroy.
It's corduroy.
Does it have? What's
like
the collar?
Tan corduroy. It's like beige. It's just regular collar. Levi's old like.
You have pictures on your Instagram of you wearing this.
Of me wearing this, and an ex-boyfriend would refer to it as my wabi-sabi jacket because he's like, oh, it means like well loved and well worn. Like, you can tell it means something. Wabi-sabi, and I was like, all right. So now, even when my mom refers to it, she's like, how's the wabi-sabi jacket holding up? I was like, it needs repairs because it does mean the world to me now. I just couldn't believe that someone was so thoughtful to like think to give this person he barely knew a jacket that he thought they would like.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Here's like this is a look-see into how just fucking cynical I am. I'm a terrible person. Oh. Well, at first.
Okay.
And I saw him. It was the same day. I remember. It was honestly must have been like I think I met you guys in the same hour. Again. God.
That's the miracle of school.
Yeah. And so I can hear the cap, the little tab as you drink.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's just funny because I'm like, it doesn't matter. So I'm just sitting in the courtyard of, what's it called? Cypress Hall. Not Cypress Hill.
No.
And I just see this like man just like emerge from like, you know where the Soraya is?
Yeah, from those little bushes, that little walkway.
He's just got this like electric guitar in his hands, and he's just strumming it, and it's not plugged into anything.
Right.
And I just think to myself, like, who the fuck is this asshole? I'm like, is this really like we didn't leave that in high school in my head? Right. And then he comes up and is like talking to like of course he knows. I don't even remember who it was I was standing with, but he like of course knows that person. Was like, hey, so and so. I was like. He's like, hey, I'm Maddie, or like, you know, he's like, hey, I'm Daron. It's, you know, it's really nice to, like, in the way he says, he's like, he's like, it's really nice to meet you.
Yeah. The most sincere way you've ever heard it said.
And I was just like, immediately like, that guy's like really nice.
You're like, God damn it, I'm an asshole.
I know, fuck. I'm such a piece of shit. And then that night we both, it was either that night or like a few nights later, it was the beginning of like my first semester at CISA, and it's like, I've gone to like community college, done all this stuff. I've gotten here. I'm so nervous because it's like this is the thing, right? It's like this is what I've been working towards, and like I know other people have been working towards this too, and I know I'm gonna meet a lot of talented people. I'm really nervous, and so Daron and I were both auditioning for studio band. Right. Is that what it's called? Studio
band. That is what it was called.
Yeah, and so I'm like, yeah, and so I had just learned how to play like electric bass to like just get into the school because I didn't. That's
true. You were bass, yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm not. I don't really. Like I kind of play bass now that I've learned, but I couldn't read. I still can't sight read all that well, and so I'm like really nervous about it. And like I'm kind of working out some stuff with Daron, and he's just like he's like, hey man, you'll do great. You know all this like. Oops,
his blessing is entirely all that you would need to know that. Truly, all Daron know how to do is truth. Like, he is the way, the truth, the life.
The way, the truth, the life. Indubitably.
Yeah.
And we go, and we're kind of waiting. I'm like fucking like shitting bricks. I'm so nervous because we're waiting in like this big kind of room, and he's like working on some stuff, but like not even really, like he's just fucking around, you know. And he goes in and he nails it, and I kind of go in, I do my audition, or no, they don't have time for me actually at the end. And I have to go and and I'm like, this is worse. And so like they're like, anyone else that wants to audition, you have to come to our office hours at this time. And I end up auditioning with the two guys like alone in a room, like in a cramped, like, you know, those cramped offices, and and it's like, and they're like, at the end of it, they're like, hey, you know, like, you got really good tone, like you obviously have a good sense of rhythm, but you just got to work on your sight reading, and then, you know, try again next semester. Like they tell me at the end of it, and I was like, oof, okay, stuff to work on. And I was like, I mean, I was like kind of sad, but at the same time I was like, this is not really something that I do. It is what it is. But anyways, I told Daron, and he was like, just like everything you need a friend to be. He was just so like endearing and wonderful. And so that was basically like my CSUN experience, was like meeting you two. So like you guys, like you would be sitting together, like you know, the brick wall by that building, like we just go get like those burrito pills at El Pollo Loco.
The pill.
Gotta love the pill.
So
yeah, it was beautiful. It's fantastic.
That's a great one.
CSUN is really talked about a lot on this podcast.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, because you did have Roger, and you had a lot of
Miles.
Oh, that's right, because Young Man.
Young Man came on, and we talked a lot about CSUN. But
if we don't put it on the map, who will?
Exactly.
You know.
If we don't talk about Catherine Baker.
If we don't talk about the Queen herself, she, you know, cares about Aretha Franklin more than anyone else on this earth. So we need to talk about her.
Her cries could be heard around the valley the day the Queen passed.
Oh my God.
You just heard. And everyone just like the echo.
She said, "Not in the middle of my Papa Haydn." Not Papa Haydn. God, I love her. I miss singing in choirs a lot now.
I think about it a lot, actually.
I do wish that I think my last semester of school, it did dawn on me all that I had at my fingertips that I should have maybe utilized more, or like taken, you know, when you're in the middle of these classes, you're telling yourself, oh my gosh,
such
like,
a fucking
this
waste
is
of time.
It's a waste of time. It's stupid. I could be practicing when I'm singing.
Especially during university.
Chorus. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'd be in this choir class with like 100 kids in it, like huge.
God, yes.
And like no one would ever even show up because there's so many kids that how would anyone even know?
I know for a fact she doesn't know my name, and there was a sign-in sheet, and like we would just take turns not going to choir,
not going and writing each other's names.
Yeah, and like it was just like, honestly, like if I had a homie that was not in class and like he just wasn't showing up, I would just like put his name down. Yeah, like even if I didn't get a text, like I definitely had homies and it was like, hey, could you just put me on because I don't feel like it, or like and especially because I think it was like usually my first class of the day, first or second. Right,
it was like my second, I think, and I do look back on that and I'm like, there do be something about a choir. There's something.
Locking in with like 99 other people is hard.
Yeah.
She did a good job of getting everyone together, especially because like fun. I mean. Oh yeah, grab me one of those. Or I'll get it.
Round 2.
I'll get it. I'm gonna hit him with one of these.
The ASMR.
You ever hear that in the podcast?
I have.
We don't even acknowledge it, but this one's for this is for our fallen soldier Wyatt, who unfortunately had to work today. We
rest in peace.
Yeah.
No, sorry, too much.
Rest in peace.
Wyatt, we miss you.
Yeah, go make the.
Wyatt, I feel a little slighted by I'm the podcast you miss.
Yeah. So everyone else you can show up for, but Allie's the. No,
the true colors are just out tonight.
No, it's okay. Wyatt's,
I'm just kidding. We love you.
Wyatt's well represented here. At least in this shirt. I wore this shirt for the first time at a rehearsal. Okay. And it'll be in the picture when we upload it onto Instagram, okay, so you guys can check it out on the Instagram page. But Wyatt was like, baddies. "What do you fucking work at a pizzeria?" I was like,
it is kind of giving like Silver Lake, like garage pizza, like you're the one there, and like 1 a.m. be like, "What the fuck do you want?" Like, go home. Stop going to these places.
There's no more sausage.
There's no.
But yeah.
We've been out since 8 p.m. Like,
yeah. And as soon as he said it, I was like, I get what you mean, but my feelings are hurt. I do understand.
You know who would have never said that shit? Daron.
Daron would have been like, Oh shit, man.
The Roman would have said, "This is a lovely shirt."
When I'm trying to.
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
gonna keep it going.
Okay, let's keep it going.
I knew that this podcast was gonna be super giggly. I knew that we were not gonna get through
But honestly,
anything.
I was never a podcast girl until the pandemic. I started listening.
I get true crime vibes from you for sure.
Okay.
No? That's okay. I could be wrong.
I'll listen to one-off true crime things, like ones that like it's summed up in an episode. I listened to the Dear John one because my boss was obsessed with that one, and he told me to listen to it.
Wait, Dear John, that's the one? They did a show, right?
They did do a show.
With Connie Britton?
I don't know,
the gal from Friday Night Lights is the mom.
Yep, yeah, they did a show.
That show is so good.
The podcast is good too. I
think my mom listened to that.
Yeah.
I think my
mom. It was a really popular one. So I did listen all the way through to that, and then I will listen to kind of one-off things here and there, but for the most part,
he gets killed, right?
Oh yeah.
He gets stabbed in the neck by
the
daughter, right?
By the daughter who was like the cute, like kind of like, I don't want to say airhead, but she was just like, oh, like assume the best. Because
he starts fucking with her last, right?
Yeah.
And then like she immediately gets over it. And then, like, stabs him in the neck in, like, a parking lot, right?
In a parking lot.
With a knife or what? I remember watching it, and I was like, let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Queen?
She came up on my TikTok For You page the other day.
The actress?
The daughter. The actual daughter. She was like,
queen?
hey, guys, you might know me because I stabbed my mom. Because I stabbed my father-in-law.
He's a fucking nutter butter, dude.
It was insane. I couldn't believe that. And you know what was so funny is that well, you know, never mind. Because I'm realizing I don't want to dox people, but...
Well, if you want, you can say names and I can bleep.
Okay.
Or you don't have to talk about it at all.
The part of town, the exact city where it happened, I have a best friend that lives there, and they have the same last name. That family and her last name.
Are they related or no?
No.
Oh, but they could probably get fucked with a lot.
She had never even heard of this story, and I said, oh my God, I'm listening to this podcast, and in literally your hometown, this other family with the same last name had this crazy shit happen, and she hadn't even heard of it. And I know
they also had a crazy thing happen?
No. Oh. They didn't even know about the
I see. I see. Okay.
And she was like, what? I need to listen to this now because that's such a crazy coincidence.
If you don't want to dox them, maybe I should cut this out because people could just look up, Dear John, where did happen?
Where did it happen? Yeah. Dear John, where did it happen?
Dear John, where did
where did happen?
Where did Dear John happen? Last name of Dear John?
Me with all the finstas that watch my page.
You have finstas that watch your page?
I have a lot of stalkers, Maddie. Like, I have a lot of stalkers. For someone who is just a pretty much nobody, you know what I mean? Like, I live my life. I do my things. I have a lot.
That's upsetting. Of
hardcore stalkers that have been following me, and they'll follow my friends for years, and a lot of times I'll get, like...
And they still, like...
Oh, yeah. They watch my stories right away, and the crazy thing is that... For a long time, I was in denial. I was thinking, okay,
no, it's, you know, it's
like, you know, they're
just a fan, just a fan.
They're just a fan. Till I went to New York a couple months ago, and my friends texted me a screenshot of some accounts, and they were like, why are these trying to follow me? They have private accounts. And one of them was like, yeah, one of those follows me, but they followed me years ago. And I looked at their account, and all the other people they followed were friends of mine from Florida, from California, from Portland, from
so
they
like,
were just any person I ever tagged in my story, they followed and just like.
Should we find if anyone follows me? Would that be interesting? Oh, you know what? Because I have a private page.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, so that's why.
Okay. I'm sure if they don't anymore, I'm sure they did at one point. There's been a couple of them that are really hardcore, and then there's a lot of ones that I think are just. They're just like people that honestly, I kind of understand. I used to be a bit like this where I would use my like Finsta account to kind of watch the stories of like people that I had weird parasocial relationships with, like if it
without
was
being seen as
with a distant friend of a friend, and I'd be like, oh, for some reason I'm just really kind of captivated by how this person is, like I just want to know more what they're like, or maybe they were friends with like my crush or something, and so there's things like that where you kind of, but I realized it was doing no good to my mental health, so
it's terrible.
I ditched the fake account.
It's bad, yeah. That's
it's
like
bad.
No, it makes you feel weird.
Yeah, I'm just like, why why do I feel like I know this girl? If I saw her in public, I would know everything about her. And that's just not, that's not cool. So I a couple of years ago, I decided like it was bringing down my mental health so much to be so online and just investigative, like looking for all these things I didn't need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. There's no reason for me to know it unless I met that person and they divulged that information to me.
Which in a way you kind of like are doing.
Right.
You have to
exactly, yeah.
You have to just be like, you know, assume that whenever you're putting something on the internet, like your picture of your mom or your dad or your grandma or your little brother. I know. Like everyone that follows you is gonna know about that. Know about it,
yeah.
Know? And
it gets to be. It gets to be weird. It definitely is such a like, especially because I have a public account. Yeah. So.
But it's also because that's like your artist page as well.
I have to do it because if I go private and I have like one show, people aren't going to request to follow me. They're not even going to think that's really me. They're even like, oh, she wouldn't have a private account. But it is a little like scary sometimes. And I had to stop. I honestly have stopped posting TikToks on my page for the most part because I got kind of into it for a second. It was just fun to.
I remember that. Yeah, you had some big TikToks.
I did. And then people in the comment section, and I know they're probably kidding, but they were trying to band together to find my IP address and saying that they were going to like be outside and like wanting to like marry me and crazy shit that was just like, who are you?
Yeah.
And there was like, I woke up one day to one that had gone like semi-viral. Hundreds of like, there's no other way to describe it than like kind of like the vibe was very incel, giving like these people have nothing better TikTok, to do than like be like, hey, I'm gonna find you. I'm Jesus. Like, oh my god, I can't. So that was definitely a wake up call because I was like, there's some weirdos out there. Yeah, there's really some people out there that are gonna try to be weird.
I'm kind of switching to my relationship with social media, and we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, but I'm kind of like am switching to I know that I can't give it up. Not fully, because that's how this is gonna happen, you know. If we're gonna blow up or like have any kind of following that's at least sufficient to live off of, it's gonna happen through bumping your shit. Like you can't, it's not enough to record something that's great and just post it once.
Right.
We had a friend, Juliana Shahayed, who's a sister of Andrea, who we had on the podcast.
Right.
And she had some milestone, I think, on her TikTok, maybe like 100,000 followers, something like that.
Big,
and it was serendipitous because we just, I had been talking about like, you know what, I think I'm just going to delete everything from my phone. And when we do put social media stuff, I'll just do it through my laptop. And I got sat down by a couple close friends of mine, and they were like, you know, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It's not an option for you.
It's like the livelihood.
It feels like you're giving up, and you just can't do it. If this is something that you want to do and you want to be serious about, then you have to sell yourself. And Juliana, that very same day, like hours after we had this conversation, she was talking about like, hey, you know what? Like I'm thank you so much for getting here, or for getting me here rather. I'm very appreciative. And if you want to be doing stuff like this, just do it. It sucks and you have to do it every day. But even if you just reach one person, like you're going to have to continue to post things and just work at it, and it's going to suck. And one of my I think it was Edwin. It was Warm Bedrooms, and he was like, "Look at this.
Warmest bedroom."
God, Warm Bedrooms is
Warm Bedrooms.
And his bedroom is warm.
Is it?
Yeah, we have to wait till very late to start sessions because it's very spicy in his room.
Is that where you got the name from?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh my god. On brand.
And it was I was like, fuck. And I feel like ever since then, and again, we talked about this before, but like, I feel like it's pertinent. I don't know what's happened, but I feel this very sudden shift in how I feel about social media. Like 2 weeks ago, I would have been like on my break at work, like scrolling through stuff. I haven't had TikTok for months. I just re-downloaded it again, and I'm like, still like, it feels so gross to me.
Don't get me wrong, I'll spend hours on it.
Yeah.
But there's just so much hatred that goes. Sorry.
No, you're good.
There's so much hatred that is like spread, and I feel like I
didn't help the situation.
Have like received some of it in addition to like just seeing the comments on things. I'm like, this is just so like some of the toxicities run so deep, and there's something about TikTok that feels especially faceless. It's really easy to just make so many fake accounts and just like, you know, no one would be able to figure out who you are in the way that an Instagram account, you can make a Finsta, but you're probably still not leaving the same type of disgusting comments. Like it gets really vulgar.
It's foul.
So it's just definitely, I find myself needing to take breaks from TikTok the most. I'm like,
yeah, it's easy. It's really easy to get sucked into.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. Since I've downloaded that stuff, I have set a timer on my stuff.
Yeah.
It's like 30 minutes. It's 30 minutes for both. And I don't like and it's been only 2 days. Who knows what will happen. But in those 2 days, I have not reached even that limit at all.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the fact that I'm like, okay, I know I have a limit on this before it goes, and it's gonna say the thing.
say the thing.
So I don't even want to get to that.
Save the embarrassment of your phone yelling at you to get off.
Yeah, but I'm glad I did it, and I feel good, and I feel like I don't think of it as it's a vehicle, really. It's a vehicle. It's something to get people invested in me. Yeah. And to,
Do you believe that Instagram is dead?
We've been talking about this a lot.
Yeah.
And
okay, sorry.
I don't know. No, not you and I. I'm saying in the band and with close friends, it's like we've been talking about it a lot. I don't know that I've seen that. I've noticed that our engagement on posts has gone down, but I don't know if I can correlate that to my personal or maybe the brand that we've been putting out has been very we don't have a image really. I felt like we've been posting really random stuff, and so I don't know if that's kind of the thing. It's are we just posting too many show flyers and not enough engaging content,
right?
Or is it dying?
Yeah,
we've been talking about we need to be on TikTok, and we need to it doesn't matter if Maddie doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And it's soul crushing, but we have to do it,
right?
Because it just is what it is. And if you can look at it, for me, I'm at a point where I don't even want to be doing that stuff. If I could not have that shit on my phone at all, Maddie would be happier. But it doesn't work that way. Maddie.
Right.
It just doesn't work that way. And it's okay if I can reconcile that fact and treat that like work and be we should post Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
And or try to do that and treat it like work. We should have a post at, Monday by 1 p.m. because that's when people are scrolling. If you kind of turn it into the boring work and get into then for me, I feel like it's more palatable because it doesn't feel like, well, I'll just make a video because I should. And,
right. Right.
But if I can transcribe a guitar solo and be that's solving two problems. I'm practicing guitar and that's a video.
Yeah.
So if you can put it work and make it fun for yourself and not be a whore for it, then that's a good thing. It's easier said than done, but that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Right.
I'm having a big awakening right now, actually.
Okay, tower moment.
Yeah. Tower?
I don't know. I think that's how the tarot card community kind of refers to these moments where you have these awakenings or a lot kind of comes crashing down.
Oh, sure.
In a way. That's kind of how I've heard
Well, then yes. I've been wanting to get my tarot cards read because I feel very transitional right now.
Yeah.
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 It's been good. I've been it's weird. I was just on the phone with Hannah before this and I've been having these this reconciliation with myself where I feel like I've lost this kind of fire in my belly that I had when I was younger, when Swells was younger.
Right.
And we were, for lack of a better word, a little bit more punk rock and a little more, or at least I was rather. I just felt like I was more
angst even, or no?
Yeah, angst, or just I had a fucking attitude and it was sexy and and I still have that, but I feel like over time I've kind of this is very personal stuff, but
no, I understand.
Maybe we'll cut it out, maybe not. But maybe people want to hear this. I think I've over time been too concerned with how I'm being perceived.
Oh my god!
And that's being liked.
Right.
And it's a fucking foolish thing to do because no matter what you do, not everyone is gonna like you. Not every decision that you make is gonna be likable, and I'm not naive. I know that not every decision I make is going to be a good one because I'm imperfect, because I'm a human. But so is every single person scrolling through that page of mine.
Right.
And so it's kind of like, how much of like me holding myself back to be kind and generous to others do I want to keep versus how much of that fire do I want to let back in my belly? How much do I want to swallow to get that, kick in the ass that I need?
Right. No, that's very real. That's very real. I think I definitely have been having a lot of similar takeaways recently from a lot of situations where it's just like, what am I so afraid of? Yeah. I don't even want to be liked by everyone. Yeah. I believe that if people are kind of hating what you're doing, you are doing things right.
Exactly.
There's just such a level of like, how many artists of your favorite artists and favorite of any type of
people
artistic medium, people hate on them so hard, and they're like, this is absolute ass.
Yeah.
Until literally everyone else wakes up. They're like, okay, incredible. And maybe sometimes it's posthumous when people realize how much someone, and I hope that's not the case for you or I. Like, I hope we get to witness when people kind of like
get to appreciate you and be touched by.
For me, even just like respect. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I know I'm never gonna shred like your favorite artist, but like there's a certain level of like respect.
God forbid you're dead in the ground before there's a YouTube video of like, listen to all these fucking vocal harmony layers.
Listen, no, but it's kind of like, it's a little true. Like, there's this artist I love a lot named Judy Sill. She has passed. And all the articles that I've seen appreciating her music have been long after she's gone, And I don't even know when she died, but there's a certain level to which you notice literal icons, very talented people, and you're like, wow, they didn't even I don't even know if they know that, like, obviously they wouldn't know, but you're seeing yourself in 2022 or whatever year it may be, really resonating with something that was made, and like, they don't see that.
I think of like the past week I've been thinking a lot about Kate Bush.
Okay,
and she was big in the 80s and stuff, but it's so funny to like see.
Did she see this coming? Probably not.
This crazy resurgence in her. I mean, that's a huge show. I think she probably could have guessed that was going to be big again. But it's very interesting how these things, and maybe she wouldn't have been recognized at all if it weren't for the way.
Right. I mean, yeah. I think. And I don't even mean to say this in a way that makes it sound like your contentment as an artist comes from when you finally have that moment of success, because that's not it at all. Like, the idea is that you should love creating it and love what you're doing enough that it doesn't even fucking matter if you ever have this big you're on Stranger Things moment and everyone loves your song. But it is Kate. yes Kate, but it is real that like that is still a part of life. Like, you want to see the fruits of your labor. And I don't even remember where I was even going with that point, but...
Well, it's tough. Like, you wanna fucking make money off your music, dude.
I know. Like, it's, especially in today's day and age, we're so success and virality and, like, craving these things that are big benchmarks, and we crave them overnight because there's this reality that to actually make a living these days off of art, it's like
incredibly huge.
The expanse, you
have to be immense.
Yeah, and it's just so daunting. And I just hate when I see so many TikToks from artists, not artists, but well, okay. I don't want to sound bad here, but like people that don't have enough of a like quote unquote successful career to necessarily be speaking to you this way, but they're saying, so you want to know how to make it big and like have a successful TikTok and blow up and have your music, well, this is how so and so did it. But you're like, okay,
what's up TikTok?
What's up TikTok? This is how Jack Harlow became the biggest rapper in history. And you're
the most influential.
And you're like, well, if it were that easy, everyone would do it. And it's not that easy. And it's so case to case. And you have to figure out I don't even want to say brand, but it's like you do need
It
to
is,
know
though.
what's
That's
going to
exactly
work
what
for
it is.
you.
It's
You need
exactly
to know
what it
what you realistically can be for yourself and to other people. And sometimes people put on a front. Like, some people are like, I'm going to play this character where I am this certain type of way, and I'm going to be zany and fun and whatever. And it might be even different than how they kind of are as a person.
It happens all the time.
Some people sell themselves. Like, they're like, I'm just sad, and this is me, and that's that.
Love you, Phoebe Bridgers.
Yeah. Literally. So, and
how dare you?
I'm sorry. So yeah, I think it's kind of, yeah, that's the age-old struggle though of kind of artistry. It's like you're like, oh, I have to figure out how to sell myself, and sometimes looking at yourself in the mirror like that under this weird like, what about me would sell the most records? Sure. What about? And that's why so much of it turns to sex appeal too. And there's so much that you're like, well, on my album cover, I'm actually completely naked, and that's
what we're doing.
That's actually why Billboard 100 wants me.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, that's not how that works.
But you're so,
But you're so sexy.
And that's fine too. It's like, if that's what you want to do, then fucking that's chill too. But it's yeah, but you have to sell yourself quite a bit.
It pains me so much because I kind of, and this is coming from someone that like I don't view myself as necessarily even having any right to even speak on this. However, there just is, I don't know when it started, but the music that's even being created these days, it's like kind of dime a dozen to find something that genuinely moves you for longer than like the 30 seconds behind a TikTok where you're like, yeah, that was catchy, and people are just,
I feel that. I've like when I look at those like deep dive into some of the songs that get crazy on TikTok, it's like I'll listen to the whole track and be like, ooh, this is not that.
This is just not it.
Not
they make like 15 seconds that are like, wow, that is so catchy. Yeah. And so you think like a lot of exciting music is being made, but nothing comes of it, and it's gone as soon as a trend is. And I think of it in this way where, you know how when you go to a record store now and you see all these records that are from maybe like the 80s, and they're just like everything was pressed, and it's just shitty records, and they're in those dollar bins or like 50-cent bins, and they are trying to pay people basically to go through those and just take something.
Please.
It's like if we were in an era right now where everything got pressed to vinyl, that would be like the majority of these songs within like
30 years,
like so fast, because it's not quality, and people just like, it's so much of it sounds exactly like each other. So I'm like, oh, this. You have
a song in mind. I feel like I see it behind your eyes. I want to hear what you're thinking.
Oh God.
I have a song that I remember, but again, I haven't been on TikTok in like 7 months, so this is a little dated, I'm sure, with how fast the internet moves. But that one song is like, "All my niggas, I'm begging, begging you." He does. I'm not gonna do that to my voice, but
I do remember that song.
I just sounded like fucking Cartman trying to sing a fucking tune. That's like the rest of their.
You know what I mean, though?
They were at Coachella.
Okay.
And I watched like a little bit of their set, not like live or anything, but someone like posted it, and it was like really bad. The guy couldn't. He was off pitch.
Oh, I'm not familiar,
fuck
but
him.
Yeah.
Like, like,
I'm not familiar, but I believe that it's like there definitely is this. There's just such a disparity between. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's just like. There are some projects.
What is popular is not necessarily good.
Yeah.
Or moving.
That's true.
I guess that's not even. It's not even about good, because what's good to me and what's good to you and what's good to Joe Schmo 3000 fucking blog. Joe Schmo 3000. Bless up. He might find something good, but it's like it's just like. It's like everyone just turns like platitudes into songs, and it's like the lyrics are not necessarily, it's just crazy. What is catchy is not necessarily good for your heart and your soul.
Yeah. It's true. I've been in such a writing slump lately that I feel like I can't write anything catchy or good for the soul. So I'm just like, who am I? Who am I to judge all these shitty ass songs coming out that make me feel like my brain cells are literally dying?
You're allowed to have an opinion, though. You know what I mean?
Okay. I appreciate that.
Like,
appreciate my right to opinion. Yeah, it's true.
Hey, you're welcome.
Thank you.
But I do, reserve the right to take it away. I think with that, would you like to take a break? I think I need to use the restroom.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a potty break.
Potty break. Oh, a potty. Like podcast.
A podcast break. We're gonna do a mini podcast in the bathroom.
Okay. You'll hear the sound.
It's called shit takes.
Wait.
Do you like that?
Brilliant.
That's good.
That's good.
Copyrighted. Verbal copyright.
Yeah, shit takes.
Shit takes
like,
a bathroom podcast.
Yeah.
That's fucking good.
Great.
I'm gonna look that up and see if that's a thing.
All
right, we'll be right back.
Be right back.
You can listen to these ads. This is brought to you by
Hazy Little Thing.
Hazy Little Thing IPA, Sierra Nevada. Family owned and argued over since 1977.
So true.
I don't know if that's the actual day. I know that is the there it is. Family owned, operated, and argued over.
Oh,
Sierra Nevada, from Chico, California, my mom's hometown. And see, now that's another little tidbit of information that the people know about Maddie's mom.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. Bye. Okay. We're back.
Hello.
Can we hear you? Wait,
Can we?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
All right. Fans.
Please.
Dear listeners.
Dear listeners.
Sorry, we had
It's like
well, you're not experiencing the break like we experienced it. We took a solid half hour to 40 minute break.
There was a heart to heart.
Well, we had to clean up, there had been a lot of tea had spilled. So there So we had you had to get a bucket and a mop. For this hot ass tea.
What were those called? ShamWows? Do you remember the ads for ShamWows?
Yeah, it was just a fucking like
it was
towel,
just a microfiber towel.
Was that the same guy that was like, and he did Slapshot too?
It was the same guy's OxyClean, yeah, I think.
OxyClean.
Was that a different person?
No, that's Wait.
Remember that
guy? No, OxyClean is
Billy Mays.
Billy Mays, who died of a heart attack, sadly, at the age of 50 or so. I remember that. I remembered when Billy Mays died. I really was like, I looked at my friend and was like, Billy Mays died, and he was like,
me
who?
with David Bowie.
Yeah, same cultural relevance.
Same lasting impact.
I'm gonna take a real quick sip from Billy Mays.
Drink up for Billy. They're actually doing another David Bowie movie called like Moon Age Daydream, I think. It's going to be a documentary style thing out later, I think September.
God, Billy Mays had a strong beard, huh?
We love a strong beard.
I can't get over it.
I used to be anti-beard, and now I'm so pro-beard.
Oh, I wonder why.
I know. This is a big shout out to Wink Wink.
He's so fucking bad. So. Great jaw on that young man.
I know. I know. It's the jaw too. For me. It's the chin.
Yeah. Sploosh.
Yeah. Would smash. Do smash.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I have this thing, and this is a quote from this like comedy group, but I have this thing that's like when I'm excited about something or like I was just like talking about something that's hot, I'm like, I'm getting horny just masturbating about it. And I thought about saying it in response to what you just said, realized it was not a good idea, and then figured it's acceptable if it's in.
I would have appreciated it. Honestly, like when people like agree with me about like my thoughts, it's very validating. I'm like,
yeah, you're like, okay, good.
Like, right. I thought that too.
Yeah.
And now,
okay, good.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, all right, okay, good.
Yeah,
that's dangerous too, because maybe they're fucked.
I know.
I have what were we? We talked about shit takes.
Shit takes.
I have to. I do need to check that. Is my phone around? Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm gonna see if shit takes. I'm gonna look up shit takes podcast right now and see if that's a thing. And if not, I'm fucking taking it.
I'm on the toilet. You've got to know.
Yeah,
these are my shit
takes podcast.
Maddie, you're really onto something. I mean, Can I Borrow Your Amp was already brilliant enough as a name. It's not. You're like.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said, Can I Borrow Your Amp was brilliant enough as like a kind of like.
That's fucking right. I hear you. I think it's a good name too. I agree.
Really
Shit Takes podcast is not a thing, but maybe we'll do like a mini podcast
where every time
when
I
take a shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the Maddie.
I do feel a huge hole in my heart because Wyatt is not here. Yeah. You don't know the joys of podcasting. With just
the King of Kings.
The King of Kings.
Actually, you know what? Who is Austin Butler? Wyatt should be Elvis. He's the king. You know.
Hey, Austin Butler was aptly cast.
Right.
I have not
Did
seen
you
that
see it?
No.
I saw it.
I used to love Elvis.
Okay.
And then I took pop history and kind of
I
knew
know.
about his pop history.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
not the
Andrew Sermani.
Andrew Sermani. Yeah.
There's
No,
a
but
CSUN
I
reference.
totally
Okay.
agree. Back up, deep cut CSUN reference. If you know, you know. But yeah, I know.
No,
that,
all of his like the reason he's famous is
I
off
was like,
of
wait a
black
minute,
blues
you just
musicians.
But I will say the movie like aptly
Goes over that.
it goes over that.
Oh, that's
it
good.
shows
Well,
it a
you'd
lot.
have to.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would
So-
watch that if that's the case. Is it good? You like the movie?
Hear me out. I went in fully expecting like I already know I'm going to hate this. I'm gonna be angry. And Baz Luhrmann is such a like
Baz
it's
Luhrmann.
all
He did Moulin Rouge,
God.
right?
He did Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
He did Great Gatsby, the one with Leonardo
Haven't seen
DiCaprio. Okay, it's very gaudy. The editing
Stylized,
is
yeah.
so like pa pa pa. It feels like a bunch of trailers mashed together in a way. It's
That's fun.
so like a lot of it is over the top, but a lot of it was actually very like well done. I found there to be a great deal of like poignant moments that I'm so critical of movies. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I
Yeah,
do not make
yeah.
movies, but I find myself to be very like not for me.
Are you hard
know?
to please when it comes
With
to
movies?
like movies or music?
I'm really hard to please when it comes to music.
Yeah,
Fully.
like
Even my favorite artist, I'll be like, sorry, you
At-
didn't do it.
at first, even like I find that with like albums that I would call my like favorite albums today,
Mhm.
like the first time I listen, and I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but it's the
Right.
first time I listen to something, typically I'll be like, yeesh, like I don't like this,
Mhm.
and then I'll grow to like stuff, but I
Yeah.
don't know. Let's lie.
I don't even have any artist really that I genuinely feel like could do no wrong by my ears. Even my favorite artists, I will call them out. Not publicly, but to myself, I will say, you flopped here. This this was not your best. And it just pains me too because not to go back to social media at all, but it's like, you know, when you see endless praise for something because something is supposed to be so hyped or so appreciated, and you're like, is anyone really listening to this? Like, this is trash. And I am just kind of like,
No, I hear you.
maybe I'm hard to please. I know I'm hard to please. I'm even
Yeah.
hard to please by my own standards. I'll make a song and I'm like, Allie, you're in your flop era. Like, this is just so not. It's not slaying what it's meant to slay. It's not.
Jesus I hate that you just said that. I fucking hate you.
It's not the serve it's supposed to be.
I'm gonna fucking
It's
throw
not the
up.
Yas Queen boots the house down.
All right. Well,
All right, we can cut that out.
this has
but
been
you know what I
episode
mean.
16. I'm just kidding. No, I hear
Episode
you. I hear you.
69.
No, that and it is kind of detrimental. I feel that way too. Like we
Mhm.
have songs coming out, and I don't know. I'm sure people go through this, but it's like we have like singles coming out that like I wrote that I'm like at the time like yeah, this is dope.
This is dope.
And
yeah.
then you just work on something. You work on. You're like, oof,
And you're like, you
this
know
is the worst
what?
thing that's ever been recorded in humankind. This
Like,
is this is worse than Scoop Diddy Poop.
this is like, oh man.
Someone,
Yeah.
I heard someone say that song is good.
You know what I think is good actually? I do like the. That's not the same song as "You're Such a Fucking Hoe."
Yes, it
that's
is.
the same song.
Isn't it? Scoop Diddy Poop.
It might be.
He's like, I like.
All right.
I'm a
Then
sick
maybe
fuck.
I do. I like
a
quick fuck. Ooh, I'm a quick fuck. I like a
Is
quick
that the
fuck.
video where
Ooh.
they're
They're
square?
like boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone was like, no, that's a good song. I'm like,
There's
I'm like,
moments-
shut the fuck up.
There's moments of it I do like. I can't
Yeah.
lie. Maybe Scoop Diddy Poop took it to a camp level that we weren't ready for.
I hate
I hate.
every
You.
time.
Remember that one time we went to Idle Hour? Shout out to the
with-
Valley Haunts.
with warm ed rooms.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we had that drink on tap, that
Yeah.
cocktail on tap.
Cocktail on tap.
You ordered it, and Edwin and I took sips, and it was like one of the best cocktails I've ever had.
know.
It was like great. Was it a Paloma? It
Must have been. I do love Paloma, so it probably
Yes.
was. Yeah.
What about that night?
I had just gotten broken up with the night before, but I didn't. I was too embarrassed to tell anyone about it.
Yeah, we did not talk about that.
Yeah. We were. I
Didn't
don't
you
know.
just you played a set,
I played a set.
and we couldn't make
you
it.
couldn't
but
make it, but we met at like the ice cream store.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went there after.
Yes,
And
I remember that well.
yep. I don't know what made me bring that up though. I'm very sorry.
That's okay. I met two of your friends. Well, yeah, I met two people
Yeah.
that night.
Well,
I remember. I remember
Yeah.
the. Yeah, I remember the evening.
Yeah.
Is what I'm. There were folks.
I'm gonna sleep the night.
What did that come from?
That's Lady Gaga.
You have to stop kicking
Oh, sorry.
the mic stand.
I'm sorry. My dear listeners. Okay, wait. Every time we say my dear listeners, you know what it reminds me of? I don't know if you noticed on my little boyfriend's drum machine that I'm reading The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Wow.
And
Big brain.
Big brain shit. And do you know what? He addresses he says, my dear readers, and like, to my dearest readers.
That's cute.
A lot in all of his
But
works.
it's a book?
It's a book, but
or is that in like the foreword? Or like throughout the book he'll say that? Or is he speaking to the reader? Because I've not
It kind of depends. It's definitely in the foreword for sure. And then there's certain times in the book where he'll also be like, now, let me tell you, dear readers, about what happened after they went to, whatever.
Sure.
So it'll have these little addresses and yeah, it's so endearing. I'm reading this book and I'm like, I am the dear reader. That's so me right now.
It's very positive for you.
Like,
Dostoevsky's really good for me.
Dostoevsky makes you feel seen
Yeah.
in ways that no author ever has. But yeah, that's how I feel when I say dear listeners. It's endearing. It's a term of endearment.
Yeah.
It's we're in this together.
Do I say that?
You said that at the
listeners?
beginning. You said dear listeners.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I did that.
Yeah, you did.
I'll have to hear back.
Maybe it got cut out, but maybe we were spilling too much tea in the meantime.
There was no tea spilled on this episode.
tea.
Well, I don't think so.
We've got the tea, but are we going to spill it to the public? We don't know.
No, I don't think that would be good for anyone's career.
With too much tea comes too much power.
Too much caffeine leads to too many edits in the mixing room after the podcast is done recording.
Okay.
I love spilling tea. I've had
Tea
full
spills?
stories that I've told that like in the middle of it I'll look to Wyatt and be
And
like,
you're like,
there's no way we can put this out.
Yeah, we can't put
And he's
this
like,
up.
yeah, I know. And I'm like, but can I finish the story? And he's like, yeah, finish the
Yeah,
story.
yeah, because-
We've
yeah.
had like a full 7 minutes straight cut out of the podcast.
You can't talk about some things. Yeah.
And
Anyway.
it's a music podcast, I guess, but we'll talk about whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
absolutely whatever. Think about it.
Think about it. Sit with it.
Take a moment. I like
Meditate.
what Mozart said in
You
my
meditate?
I've had a moment today where I was like,
Okay.
I need to go home and pray on this.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I thought
I
like
need to-
I need to meditate,
to pray on
and
that.
then I started breathing in the car because I was very, I was having a moment, and then I was like, that's not working. And then I was like, what's my angry music? And I put on the White Stripes' first album
I have to tell you
at
something.
full blast, and
I have
I
to tell you something.
I
Yes.
rolled down the windows and played it as loud as my ears could take it, and I drove home, and I was calm, and I was good, and that was fine.
That's it.
I got over it,
Yeah.
as you were. What were you saying?
I have actually been meaning to tell you about this forever, and it's due to our dear friend. You can bleep out her name but Valeska, her queen of hooking it up.
Oh no, we can absolutely.
She-
I think I know what you're about to talk about.
No,
no,
she
we're
got
not gonna
us
bleep Valeska. Valeska, the queen
the
of
queen
CSUN, the
of
queen of
CSUN,
Live
the
Nation.
queen of network, the queen of slay.
Actually,
She's-
could finish your story, and then we'll talk about how she is the queen of network, the
She's
queen of slay.
network.
Go on.
She is the queen of network. I adore her, and she got us front row tickets to Jack White. And
Interesting how someone was not invited.
the way that I told her there, I said, you know who loves Jack White? Maddie Gregg. You were honestly, I think, who like introduced me to the world of like the fandom of Jack White, because I knew who he was vaguely, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that like that was a thing. And so I started listening
Sure,
from the view
sure.
of like, okay, he is a thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Do you get it?
And I get it, and especially after seeing him in person.
Oh,
Definitely
it's
bleep
amazing.
this out. You have
Sure.
to bleep this out.
That's a big. He's got a honker, dude. Jesus, Jack. Good for him. That's good.
Anyway, I can't believe I've been saying this, but it was just noticeable.
No, and I've seen him live too, and I'm a fan.
I'm a fan, yeah.
My brother bought us Coachella tickets in like 2015.
Sweet,
he was
yeah.
like, "You love
He was-
Jack White." He
right.
surprised me.
Mhm.
There's more to that story, but I'll leave that out because I don't want to hurt feelings.
Mhm.
And we went. We had a fantastic time, and then on the day Jack White was playing, I was like, "Luke, I love you. If you want to go do other things, you can do other things. I'm gonna be front row for the Jack White show.
Mm-hmm.
We stood in front of the main stage of Coachella for 7 hours, like watching sets that we did not care about. And we saw him, and I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Big old honker.
Look.
What a set on that guy.
And the set itself was amazing.
Both sets.
He sounded both sets were fucking amazing.
How was this tour? That was at YouTube?
It was.
How was that? That's kind of a newer. I looked shit. That's honestly the theater is why I did not buy tickets.
Yep. So going into it, V was like, I don't like this venue because it feels like a gymnasium. Yeah, Valeska was just like, yeah, like just fair warning, YouTube theater's a little bit like, it's okay. You know what I mean?
It
like,
does not look like a good theater from like I looked at it looks like the Soraya. Like kind of.
It does have Soraya vibes, but like honestly, it did have gymnasium vibes where it's like so it's sterile, everything is gray, and I was really mad at them because they didn't sync the video to the performance properly.
Oy.
And so
it's
you're
delayed.
watching him sing and you don't see the mouth move on the screen for
it's
like
gotta not no
seconds.
No, that's not good.
Really bad. And then I don't know if this was YouTube Theater's fault or I made a joke. I was standing with her and his tour routing person, and
is that how she got tickets?
I don't know. I think she got tickets because she worked on promotion for the tour.
You're
I think.
a bad bitch.
You're a bad bitch. And you're a bad bitch.
It just is what it is at the end of the day. Valeska, if you're listening to this, next time Jack White's in town, Maddie will
right, exactly.
come with you into that show and we can
exactly
about the good old days. That doesn't.
and he like, I made a joke where I was like, "This is his guitar tech's last day on Earth."
Oh no!
Because, Maddie, you wouldn't even believe this. You wouldn't even. I have never witnessed something this like to such a legend. Something so almost disrespectful that it's happening.
I'm really interested in what you're about to say, and I'm going to ask a follow-up question. But go ahead.
He had to. It's the very first song.
Yes.
You automatically can tell something is not right. He's doing crowd engagement, but his guitar, something's not adding up. You don't know what because you haven't seen the show, but you're like, he's not happy. He calls the guitar tech over, whatever. He's like, literally, the band is vamping on the same. It was that song, "Are You Taking Me Back?" Over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. And you're like, meanwhile, the guitar tech's on stage trying to figure it out. They end up bringing him like a new guitar, whatever. And then
he's playing what, an electric guitar?
Electric. The chord still isn't working, so they bring out a new chord or whatever. All this shit, like, and then he ends up doing the rest of the song on piano. He goes over to the piano and just starts playing it there.
That's fucking sick.
So then for the next song, hopefully they have it sorted out. But tell me why it's a different song and the guitar tech has to run on stage to untangle the cord from the neck of the guitar. All this bullshit. And, like, he's tuning it himself on stage. Like, there's so many issues with the electrics that night that you were just like, this is...
What was the guitar tech wearing?
A hat.
Okay.
Broad-brimmed hat with a feather in it. Do you know him?
Okay, yeah, that's been his guy.
Okay, so
forever.
Maybe
that doesn't sound right.
Fault. Yeah.
It sounds like it was a new theater. I also know, because I'm a little whore for Jack White,
right?
That like he has like this new like line of guitars, that are like in his like arsenal that are just extremely customized with all this crazy fucking shit in it, which is very Jack White to like be very fucking specific to his liking and like. And, you know, also, like, difficult to play and stuff like that. So I would not be surprised if loving the acrobatic. Allie, just for those who are not, just fucking did ballet to just to grab a beer.
You know what? I'm taking ballet again.
Good for you.
I'm healing my inner child. And in the middle of our Jack White has a huge...
If that's part of it, you know, maybe a therapist as well.
Yeah. She loves me.
What's her name?
I think Kate.
Is it Kate?
Yep. Shout out to Kate, my therapist.
Love you, babe.
She's the only reason I'm here today.
Yeah. Hey.
That's the honest truth.
I know we've talked about this before on
Yeah.
the podcast. Get a therapist.
It's true.
Everyone should be in therapy. Even
It's
if you're
so
just
true.
like, am I wrong in
you
this like argument I'm having with my friend? I really feel like I'm steadfast. They will
Mhm.
help you see the other person's side. And if the other person,
Yeah.
you know, it's good to have.
This
is that a
keeps
second?
happening to me.
You just because you fiddle with the
I
tab.
fiddle with, yeah, it's
You're
my
a fiddler.
I'm a fiddler.
But it's okay because you
Do I
could.
have ADHD?
you
Let's
could-
circle back.
Oh no.
Oh no. So
You could be a diddler, so it's better to be a fiddler, you know?
We know some of those, but sorry, where'd it go?
I thought the tea was cleaned up, and now you've gone and spilled a whole new cup. Bars?
Bars. What was it?
His guitar tech. His
Yeah.
guitar. I'm certain.
Okay, I don't think. Yeah, I feel bad because honestly, there was something about that venue that was giving. They were ill prepared for.
I believe
the
it.
situation to
Because
happen
that
that
dude,
night.
like, the first time I saw Jack White, I was.
Does he always wear a hat?
Was Jack White wearing a hat?
No,
Oh,
the other
guitar.
guy.
Yes.
God, Jack White had blue hair, and I wasn't aware of that new era.
I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it.
Honestly, I look at those White Stripes pictures. I'm like, no one rocks like a sexy black bob like you. Like,
Yeah, it's true.
So good.
And I don't know. I kind of like. There's like a punk thing to it where it's like he's
Mhm.
getting older, you know.
Yeah.
But the shows are fucking amazing.
Mhm.
And he's still just cool. But I have this thing of like where I don't, and I don't know, maybe this is just me, and it's like when people start to get old or whatever,
Yeah.
and they try to like really change their appearance,
Mhm.
whether it's like, you know, filler injections, it's like, dude, like it's sexy to be yourself.
Be the
and
Steve Carell Silver Fox.
baddie,
He
Steve
looks
Carell.
so amazing
And with
as
your
like
gray
the
hair,
Silver Fox.
yes, dude, yes.
Yeah.
Couldn't have agreed.
I'm trying
more
to.
with you.
For some reason, that was who came to mind. In
No,
terms of, like,
I
a
feel
celebrity
you.
that aged and let themselves age, and it was like, this looks amazing. on
Helen
you.
Mirren's a good example of that.
Yeah,
Although who
okay.
knows, you know, maybe she's who knows. Who's
I
had
think
work
Gillian
done.
Anderson's the most sexy woman alive. Are you familiar with her? She plays the mom in Sex Education, which is the most recent like.
Oh, I've seen her face, but I don't know.
Just like there's something about gray hair. It's
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on
even
that.
Jack White with gray hair would look amazing.
That's what I'm saying. If he
Yeah.
and you know, do you whatever makes you feel good, if
Do
it makes you
you.
feel happy, then go
Did you
for
see
it.
that interview with like Zane Lau or Zane?
That's the fucking guy,
Yeah,
dude. I was
yeah.
just talking about him today, and I could not get his name.
Okay,
He
yeah.
did an interview with Zane Lau's Low recently,
yeah.
but I have not watched it. But I was talking about his interview with
Mhm.
Tyler and his interview with Kevin Parker earlier today.
Right.
But I could not fetch the name.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm going to watch
he
all
gets
those
them all.
interviews.
And he does a good job. He gives people like a lot of space to
Yeah.
explain their processes and you know, you feel like you're.
He's like have you ever watched an interview with like Rick Rubin?
I did with Todd Rundgren, who is a king of mine and a lot of people.
You
Todd?
watched their interview.
Yes.
I was
well,
like-
it was a podcast.
I was like, you fucking met Todd Rundgren. Oh, it was
Oh,
Broken Record?
Yep.
Oh, I listened to that where
mhm.
he talks a lot about Hawaii and
Yep.
like how he does those collaborative records where it's just like whenever people can come
Yeah.
down. I was just talking about that today
Yeah.
too. That's so
Yeah.
fucking weird.
I love that. I love Todd Rundgren so much.
Wait, no, let's acknowledge how crazy that is. You just back to back talked
Acknowledge
about
2 things that you had talked about earlier.
yes,
Yeah.
and without me even like mentioning it,
We're connected.
dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. I've been having a lot of weird idiosyncrasies happening like that. I'm getting a reminder on my phone for us to take a photo after this
Okay.
podcast is done.
Are you familiar with the app Be Real?
No.
Okay. I wasn't until a couple months ago, but I didn't download it until last week. It is an app that kind of like it gives you a notification and it says you have 2 minutes left, and you can still post late, but you're supposed to post within this window, and you can friend other people who have the app. And it's just, you kind of just show whatever is happening for you at that moment so that it's not a glamorized thing. It's just like, wow, like all my pictures are like at work. You know what I mean? I'm just like, this is what I'm doing right now. And you can real react or real emoji, I think, to other people's things. Sorry. Where it's a selfie of you reacting to their thing. So you're seeing people's faces kind of react to your photos, and it's very real because it's not just like, this was my brunch. It's like, it's probably you driving home from work or some shit where you're just like,
explosive fucking diarrhea right now because I shouldn't have eaten at a brunch.
Yeah. And so that just reminded me of the notification. The only notification I have enabled from any app is that one, because you have to have it on to know when you're supposed to post. You can still post late. It doesn't matter. It just says, like, oh, this person posted their Be Real 11 hours late. And it's been kind of fun. I don't know if it's going to become a thing like other apps become a thing. It's... I don't know how new it is. It's new to me and my friends.
Sure.
Like, I think we've only started recently using it. And it definitely...
Does it feel like a chore? Because it tells you... Is it randomized when it, like...
It's randomized. It's randomized when it pops up during the day. I don't even know if... I think today's
Does it know when you're,
evening.
like, up?
I don't know, actually. But it's humbling. Because a lot of mine are done when I'm literally serving ice cream. And I'm like, here I am. In all my glory, which is none at all. Mm-hmm. That being said, if anyone listening to this is hiring, let me...
Honestly, Sam, I can't keep teaching these kids how to drive.
Like
My life is on the line every night.
If anyone here has a cool job that doesn't involve me slaving away to screaming children about sprinkles, that'd be great.
Wow.
Yep, the Karens of the Valley.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I would ask you where you work, but I wouldn't. Yeah. I feel like I asked earlier, and things go in when you're at the nice.
You know what?
It's lovely.
That's how it's meant to be.
Yeah, because if I was on top of things, it would be over for you bitches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, literally, it'd be over.
If I was functioning at 100% capacity, be a whole new game.
I saw someone tweet the other day something that was like, "Oh, if I was in control of God, I can't even paraphrase it as well as I." It was just kind of a similar sentiment. Yeah,
I love that.
Sorry. God, I sound like such an idiot on this podcast. I'm just like, hey guys.
Well, no, we've been. I've had a tough day. I'm sure you've had a day. It's hot.
It's hot.
We tried to quench our thirst with hazy little
thing.
Family owned, operated, and Nargio since 1977. Brought to you by Sierra Nevada.
Do you think Tom Cruise is hot? Because my mom is like, he's actually very beautiful and hot. I'm like, I
think he's charming.
Yeah, I see why your generation would think so.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I wouldn't actually say he's like, I don't actually think Brad Pitt is hot, personally. I don't think he's ugly, but he's not someone that, to me, I'm like, zaddy. You know, there's something about symmetrical people that's almost like, well, what are we doing here?
I don't like Brad Pitt's long hair phases.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair.
I think he's got a very nice physique, and he's got a handsome face. I think Brad Pitt's, I'd fuck.
There's a surge these days in people that think Miles Teller is sexy. Are you seeing this?
There's no way. And I don't think he's unattractive.
Everyone is fucking obsessed with him right now.
His face, he looks like a fucker. Like, do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
He's got fucker vibes.
Yeah, he's he ruined my life.
He's the kid that was
earlier.
Mrs. Johnson, didn't you assign homework last night?
And everyone around him is just like, Jesus
fuck
Miles.
Right.
God
yeah, Miles.
damn. We were 5 minutes on the clock, Miles.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
I did the homework, Mrs. Johnson.
Yeah, literally.
And I could be wrong.
You could be wrong.
The scars are hot. We'll cut back in here.
Okay, cut back.
With the story that I have about Valeska Thomas.
I love her.
Oh.
My queen. She sent me a video today of my song playing in her esthetician's office. She's like, so proud of you.
What?
Yep.
Your song was just randomly on in an esthetician's office?
I think her esthetician would have found it through her and added it to their store playlist. That's what I'm gathering. But
is that a nail technician? Is that what that is?
No, it's a facialist. Like, I think she gets like facials and just skincare there. But she was there, and there was menthol playing.
Good for you.
And I was like, oh. That's my dream. I would love to go to get a nice facial done. And I'm sitting there, and then something like the cold that bit in. I'm like, that's so true. Yeah. That just could not be more true in this moment. Anyway,
it's
so
facts.
what's your story about Valeska Thomas?
I've talked about it. I think on the podcast. I was at a concert with a friend, and we got invited by someone to go to a party.
Yeah.
And just based on the person who invited us to the party, I was like, you're so full of shit. Like, I know that this person had worked with them before. I think I've talked about it before. I don't know. I don't want to be fucking name droppy. Anyways, we end up at a party at Anderson Paak's house.
Okay, I also end up partying with him one night.
Really?
Recently, like probably like a month and a half ago.
That's fucking like, bananas. All right. Unfortunately, dear listeners, a bunch of tea was spilled again. A bunch of tea. You won't believe it, but we had made another pot that we completely forgot about. It boiled over and it spilled, and then realistically, Allie and myself have not really had a full discussion
about our lives in a long time.
The entirety of COVID.
Yeah.
Since I graduated in 2019 through your graduation in 2020.
Exactly.
And 2021 happened. We've been both very busy and we have not talked about
it.
So there's a lot of catching up that's going on. But
it's a lot to talk about. Yeah.
Point being, we're at this crazy like Anderson Paak party. I'm talking to like heroes of mine. You know what I mean? I'm like, I fucking listen to you every day, and we're just having a beer, and like you're super cool. Also, simultaneously having a moment being like, they're just people, and like what you see on their Instagram and on their social media pages is also just a projection of how they're making their money. And then it's like towards the end of the night, I'm kind of like, all right, I'm starting to think about going. I need to sober up. And who do I see? Valeska fucking Thomas.
God bless her.
And she's like, hey, buddy. I'm like, oh, my God.
Oh, my God. She's the queen of socializing. I swear I wouldn't have met anyone in my life if not for her. She introduced me to my boyfriend. She introduced me to... She did.
I believe it.
She has introduced me to nearly everyone that has been influential in my life. People that I would have never even really thought to say hello to, or would have just not believed in myself enough to say. And she's like, you have to meet Allie. I'm like, wait. Okay, queen. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
She's the best. I think it's very rare in the music industry to meet someone that is not only nice. You meet a lot of people that are surface level nice, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit. But then people that are actually just genuinely very sweet and actually care about you and like will check in on you. And I think that you and I both have found a friend in Valeska that can service us in those ways. That it's to make it selfish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's a fantastic person. And moreover, I think this is a fantastic way to end this episode.
Yeah.
Like, can I borrow your amp? There's going to be some cuts that you guys, you're going to hear it on the, I'm getting a phone call from Swoon.
Swoon like
Should we put him on the podcast?
Yeah, we should.
Hey, you're on speaker and you're on the podcast.
Oh, what's up?
This is your third appearance on the podcast, actually.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say?
I mean, do you have any questions for me?
Who are your top 3 producers right now?
Okay. Oh my God.
That are active and doing things right now.
That's not fair. I'm not gonna.
That's okay. It could be anyone.
I don't know.
Just give me who's the first person that came to mind.
Rick Rubin.
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay.
Number 2.
You're like, all right, 2 more.
Yep.
Rick Rubin, Kanye West, Pharrell Williams.
That's it. I think that's a fantastic group of people.
Boom.
I'm going to call you back in like 30 seconds because we're actually just finishing up the podcast.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
Tune in next week, guys.
Yeah,
truly.
Yeah. All right, I'll call you back.
All right, later.
Bye. Allie, where can people find you?
Oh God. Okay, so.
Speak into the microphone.
Yeah, my Instagram is allie.skelly. And ALLIE, right?
Dot
and
SKELLY.
If you want to listen to like the EP I put out with Henry or anything of the sort,
it's fucking good.
Under Allie Kelly on any streaming service.
Can people find links to that on your Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then. Yeah, if you really want to deep dive into the Allie Kelly lore,
the universe,
like
the extended
universe, you can go onto Bandcamp or to SoundCloud, and I exist in those realms too.
And if you listen to Allie's music and you find that it speaks to you, like so little music may reach you these days, why don't you just support her and buy the album because
Why
that's a
don't you
really
just
important thing that you can
toss
do.
a little Bandcamp $5.
Okay, drop $5, you fucking broke piece of shit. Like, you can't afford $5.
You're really exposing yourself by not buying my $5 Bandcamp album.
Okay,
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Alright,
kidding.
you have an OnlyFans account, but you can't fucking spend...
I really should. I should.
No, not you. Not you.
Okay,
I
well.
might, though. We'll see. Allie, is it cool if I have a question for you?
Okay, got
Can
it.
I borrow your amp?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Bye, everybody.
Bye.